Hi, curly girls. This is Tiffany Taylor, the Curl Whisperer, and we are going to talk about humectants now because I know that causes some consternation for some people trying to figure out what this whole humectant thing is. Is it good for your hair? Is it not good for your hair? So let's first of all let's talk about what a humectant is, and that's a product ingredient that its capability is to draw moisture out of the atmosphere and pull it into your hair. And it can also absorb or slow down the absorption of moisture as well. So, in a lot of circumstances, humectants are really good things because curly girls have a tendency to be a little drier. We can't brush our hair like the straight hair girls do, and so having that moisture absorbed into our hair can be a really good thing. However, there are situations where that is not optimal and can cause a lot of problems. Um, on one hand, if you live in a very dry atmosphere, if you live in Denver or Phoenix or Las Vegas, or places like that, the humectants that you put in your hair in a product can actually go after the moisture in your hair because it can't find any out in the atmosphere. So it'll go after that moisture in your hair and pull it out there and make you even drier. So that's not a good thing. On the other side of it, places like Florida, where I live, it's where my salon is. Other than Hawaii, we have the second highest humidity levels in the United States. So when your hair reaches out in the atmosphere and it finds all this moisture out there, it keeps drinking and drinking and drinking, and your hair starts exploding, until by the end of the day, a lot of us are like poof out here because we keep drinking all this moisture. We're also at risk of something called hygral fatigue, where you get actually so waterlogged that your hair gets gummy and has some issues there as well. So, what a lot of people also don't realize is there are two different types of humectants. There are what we call the simple humectants, and there are what we call the film forming humectants. A simple humectant, which those are, let me see, glycerin, propylene glycol. They are simple because they are the humectants that will just keep drinking water and drinking water and drinking water until your hair is just completely waterlogged. Our hair in Florida doesn't really love simple humectants a lot because it makes us frizzy and it makes us really waterlogged as well. So, humectants in a product for us is fine as long as it is not the last product you put on your hair. Whatever is on the outside of your hair should be the one thing that kind of keeps the moisture at bay if you're using a product, especially a gel, something like that that has a simple humectant. However, there is also a second kind of humectant, and they are called film forming humectants. Aloe vera, flaxseed. There are lists on the internet on what film forming humectants are, and they absorb moisture as well, but very slowly. So your hair doesn't just suck it all down and explode. If you want to use a product that has a film forming humectant in it, make sure you put it on the outside of your hair. That will slow the process down, and you won't get caught into that drinking water and explosion loop that we all seem to get into sometimes. So just remember, humectants are good in that they will, their job is to absorb moisture from the air and keep you hydrated, which will keep your curls like bouncy and springy and do great things from that perspective. But you want to really bear in mind what kind of humectant you're putting in your hair. Simple humectants, not really. I think, what is it? Glycerin, sorbitol, and propylene glycol are the three biggest ones I can think of that they use in hair products for simple humectants. There are a lot more film forming humectants. Like I said, aloe vera, flaxseed gel, agave nectar, I think is another one. And I will go ahead and post something on my fan page about a list of what film forming humectants are out there. So if you want to use a humectant in your hair for the moisturizing properties, if you live in a climate, in an atmosphere where humectants are not really the most kind to you, you might want to stick to film forming humectants instead. So this is Tiffany Taylor, the Curl Whisperer. That's what we have to talk about humectants today. So have a great and curlicious day.